What's going on there, my second grade all-stars? I hope you guys are doing amazing. I love how you boys and girls are getting after it. You're showing up here, you're crushing it, you're growing your brains, all right? It's all about hard work. And by showing up and participating in these videos, by showing up and doing this work, you guys are growing your brains and you're doing awesome. And those third grade teachers are gonna absolutely love you guys. So keep getting after it, my friends. Now, what we're gonna dive into today is another strategy when we come to an unknown word. And this is simple. Check this out. So the strategies we've done so far, we've been talking about context clues, about looking around the word, being a word detective. Looking, does it tell us? Does it give us a definition or example in front or behind? Does it give us antonyms or synonyms surrounding that word that helps us figure it out? Or by using the picture, by using the photograph, were you able to figure out what that word means? Or maybe you checked out the dictionary or glossary to figure out word meaning. Well, if all else fails, one thing that you can do, guys, ask an adult. Pretty simple, all right? If you can't figure out that word, you've used all your strategies, you can't figure it out, ask an adult. So what we're going to do here is we're going to read a story by Gail Gibbons, and she is a great nonfiction writer. And we're going to be reading about monarch butterflies. Super cool. And we're going to try using the different strategies that we've been introduced to figure out some of the words within the story. And remember, if you come to a word that you don't know, you can do what? Say it out loud. You can ask an adult, right? So here we go, boys and girls. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are going to dive in to monarch butterflies. So monarch butterflies by Gail Gibbons. A monarch butterfly settles on a leaf of a milkweed plant. She gently presses a tiny egg to one of its leaves. The egg is the beginning of another. It is summertime in the north. A breeze stirs the stem of the milkweed plant. The monarch egg is white and shiny. It is the size of a small dot and sticks to the leaf. And here's a great illustration of how that happens. When the butterfly lays the egg, she makes it sticky. Wind and rain cannot make the egg come loose. In a few days, the egg hatches. Out crawls a small caterpillar, also called a larva. Find the caterpillar first. The caterpillar eats the eggshell and then chews away at the milkweed leaf. The eggs of a monarch is almost always laid on a milkweed plant. The plant will be its food. So if I want to know what a larva is, look at right here. Out crawls a caterpillar, also called a larva. So I know larva means a caterpillar right there. I can use the illustration as well. The caterpillar eats and grows and begins to change. It breaks out of its old skin, showing a new skin underneath. This is called molting. For 2 weeks, the caterpillar eats and eats. It molts about 5 times. Finally, it is a full-grown monarch caterpillar, about 2 inches long. And here's another picture using the illustration, figuring out what molting is. As we can see, it's climbing out of its old skin. Now, something wonderful begins to happen. The caterpillar creeps to the stem of a leaf. It attaches itself to the stem and drops down head first. The caterpillar's bright colors become greenish. Then, the skin splits and moves up to the top. The skin falls off. A new strange form appears. It is called the chrysalis or pupa. The chrysalis is like the blanket that is wrapped around the body, growing inside. So here's a great illustration of the chrysalis or pupa. And right here it tells us how to pronounce pupa. At first, the chrysalis is long and soft. Then it shrinks and hardens and becomes light green, decorated with gold dots. Inside, the monarch butterfly begins to grow. About 2 weeks later, the chrysalis changes again. It turns gray-green before becoming transparent. Inside are white dots and orange and black lines. Now, as I was reading, transparent popped in my head. And I'm looking around, and I use the picture, and I'm not able to tell by the picture, or when I'm looking, and it says, the chrysalis changes again. It turns gray-green before becoming transparent. Inside are white dots and orange and black lines. Well, I'm looking around, and I don't see any synonyms or antonyms that pop up right at me, or the definition of it. I'm confused. So what can I do? I've used all my strategies. I've used the picture. I've looked for the definition, for examples, for synonyms, for antonyms. I don't know what to do. What's the thing that we can do? Pretty easy. Ask an adult, right? So transparent, if I look at that picture closely, boys and girls, you can see that you can see through it, right? Here on the opposite page, it's light green. But then it becomes transparent and you're able to see through it, and you can see the monarch butterfly starting to form. The chrysalis wiggles, then it splits open. The butterfly begins to pull itself out. The head and legs appear first, and then the rest of it slides out. The wings are tiny and stuck together, and the butterfly's abdomen is big. The abdomen becomes smaller when its fluid is pumped into the wings. The wings become bigger. A caterpillar is turned into a butterfly. This is called metamorphosis. Once again, it popped in my head. Metamorphosis. I'm not sure what it is. Okay, I can always go ask an adult. That's always going to be my last resort. All right, one of the things, because that's easy. I want to use the strategies that we've learned about. So let's look around. And it says, so the abdomen becomes smaller when its fluid is pumped into the wings. The wings become bigger. A caterpillar has turned into a butterfly. This is called metamorphosis. So I look right here as an example. The caterpillar has turned into a butterfly. When you change from one thing into another, all right, changing from a caterpillar into a butterfly. That's what metamorphosis must mean. The butterfly sits quietly for a few hours, waiting for its wing to dry and harden. At last, they begin to move slowly, and then beat faster and faster. The butterfly flutters up toward the sky. Monarchs have a bad taste and will make a bird or animal sick if they are eaten, so most of them are left alone. And here it gives us a nice diagram of the monarch. It says there are many parts to a butterfly. The scales of the wings make up the color. The wings, the head, the feeler or antenna is used for touch and smell. So these not only are touching, but they also smell. The tube is to the mouth is called the proboscis. It sucks up sweet juice called nectar from flowers. And it's actually pronounced proboscis. I can use right down here, boys and girls. This tells me how to pronounce that word. Then the thorax, legs, and back here is its abdomen. The monarch butterfly only flies during the day. When it rains, the butterfly stays dry, hidden under leaves. Fall is on the way. Soon it will be cold. If the monarch butterfly doesn't fly south, it will die. Once again, it darts up into the sky. The butterfly will take a long trip to a warmer place. This is called migration. Good. The monarch will fly to where its ancestors have always gone, sometimes to the very same tree. So if I look at this word ancestors, I might not know what it is. All right, and we look around, and it's really hard by looking for synonyms, antonyms, for the definition or examples to figure out what ancestors mean. So what can we do? Ask an adult. All right, so ancestors, when it's talking about butterflies, the butterflies that came before, like its grandparents and its great-grandparents. Our ancestors would be our grandparents or great-grandparents or great-great-grandparents. Others monarchs keep appearing, making a cloud of orange in the sky. At night, they rest in trees. Sometimes they fly up to 12 miles an hour and almost 100 miles in one day. There could be over 1,000 butterflies traveling together. They fly to places such as Florida, Southern California, and Mexico. Some butterflies migrate 4,000 miles. They will stay south throughout the winter. So these arrows show where the butterflies are migrating from. So they start up north, right around us here, and then they go down south. Some fly all the way down into Mexico. Some towns and cities are proud to have the butterflies visit them. They have festivals to celebrate their arrival. Children dress up for parades and butterflies, costumes. Sometimes there's a band of visitors come from all around. Monarchs can cluster together, thousands of them clinging to one tree, a butterfly tree. Here, if I want to know cluster, great visual right here. All right, so when they say they cluster together, using this picture, boys and girls, it really helps me see cluster when everything jumbles all up together. It gets really close together. Lots and lots get close together using the illustration right here. In the spring, these butterflies will migrate north again to the fields of milkweed plants. And then this is how to raise. We're going to skip over this page, but you can find this on Epic if you want to find out how to raise a monarch butterfly. And here on the last page, this is just giving us quick little facts about butterflies. And this page says the monarch butterflies that hatch in spring and early summer only live for a few weeks. The ones that hatch in midsummer are the ones that migrate. They live 8 to 9 months. That's an interesting fact. I didn't even know that. About 100 million monarchs migrate each year. Some monarchs fly as high as 2,000 feet. A monarch can have a wingspread of 3.5 inches. In Santa Cruz, California, a monarch butterfly flag is hoisted the day the monarchs arrive. It is flown for 6 months until the last monarch butterfly leaves for the north. Pacific Grove, California calls itself Butterfly Town, USA. The Monarch Project has volunteers that tag thousands of butterflies to track how fast and how far they fly. In Mexico, there are nature reserves where the monarch butterflies spend the winter. So this page includes a lot of cool facts. So what I want you to do right now, boys and girls, you have 5 seconds. I want you to name out loud, all right, to a brother or sister, mom or dad, whoever's in the room with you right now. What is the strategies that we can use when we come to a word that we don't know? When we're being that word detective, when we're paying attention while we're reading and focusing and paying attention. Do I know this word? What strategies you can use to figure out an unknown word? Here we go. 5 seconds. Name as many as you can. Okay, boys and girls. So if you said something along the lines of looking around the word, looking for, does it a definition around it, an example, was there synonyms, antonyms around that word that we could use? You could have said, I use the picture or illustration, another strategy. Glossary, dictionary, all right? Easy ones right there, boys and girls, and very useful. Or the one that we talked about today, we can just ask an adult. All right, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this great lesson about monarch butterflies. As always, all right, keep smiling and keep shining. You guys are doing awesome. So keep up the good work. We'll talk to you later. Bye.